Hello. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to High Valley Sports Online Coaches Show. This is the second half of our show. My name is Tony, affectionately called Tony Two Sandwiches Lelly. I'm here with my partner, Phil Ruzak, and we're here with Steubenville Central coach Eric Meek. This segment is sponsored by the National Colloid Company. Catholic Central is coming off of a tough loss against Wheeling Central, 48-0. Coach, tough loss. Everybody know, all coaches, when you go through, you're going to go through a game where you're outgunned, and it's the middle of the season. So your thoughts?
Well, a great football team that we
yes.
played, but let's kind of get right to the point. Our effort was not even close to where I thought it was going to be. So I'm very disappointed about that. We had some kids, and they know who they are. I'm certainly not going to start mentioning names on there, who I thought really played hard, and they put up a good fight. But as a team, we did not. And what is disappointing is, from our first scrimmage on August the 8th to our second scrimmage August 15th to our first game at Wellsville, second game at Strasburg that we lost, third game against Rosecrans, fourth game against Bridgeport, I thought we've improved, and I thought that we as a football team were getting some grit, and we didn't do that. Now, whose fault is that? That's my fault. Not mentally. As far as the schemes went, we were fine. But I, as a head football coach, failed, and I apologize to the people at Catholic Central for getting my players mentally ready to play a team like Wheeling Central. So we need to move forward, and we went backwards. You can lose if you give effort.
I got you.
You can lose, but as a team, we did not play well, and that falls on me.
Yeah, they were really good, and I agree. I've seen improvement from day one, and it was a bit of an anomaly of what I saw happen. Sometimes you just get those teams, and
sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear eats you, and the bear was hungry that night.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it's hard to find positives in a game where you lose 42-0, and you were down 28-0, or 48-0, and you're down 28-0 in the first quarter. But you still had a little bit of a running game. Holsworth and Thorne had some yards, and they may have come a little late, but nonetheless had some yards. One turnover against a very, very good team. So you got to dwell on the positives, I guess.
Yeah. I guess what bothers me is, after looking at the film, and besides the lack of fight as a team, I'm talking, as an overall team,
right,
is sometimes we lined up not in the right place defensively, which that looks like coaching, which it is, because apparently we didn't reiterate it enough. I mean, that's not the front we should have been in. And early in the game, there were a few blocking schemes where we completely had missed assignments, and that doesn't look good either, because when you don't block the person you're supposed to attempt to block, that looks like unsound football. So, but there were some positives. You mentioned Ryan Holsworth. We had two tailbacks that we rolled, Ryan Holsworth and the freshman Davion Thorne, who I think has a really good future ahead of him. I think he's a very good athlete. So Ryan's a junior, themselves, and do some good things. And, we're going to have both of those kids back next year. Matthew Sprocka, I thought, played a gutsy game, as he always does. And
they were able to throttle him and just keep him.
And we had some kids out, but Ignis, that's going around, and you have some kids that are out. Whoever gets put in the spot, we say, this is your chance to shine. Some coaches don't agree with me on this, and that's fine. But, I've always said that, if a kid replaces a kid because a kid's out for whatever reason, this is the United States of America. we're a society that's based on competition. And if someone steps in and does a really, really good job, we don't know from game to game who's going to start.
Right.
And, we tell kids, hey, this could be your opportunity. And, that's something that we need to look forward, that if you get a shot in there, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams, if you really show that you've done a good job, you very well may be in again next week. So, we're limited on numbers. I mean, we got 31 kids on the team, but, we only have 7 seniors. So we have a lot of young kids, and they got a lot of football to play in their career. But all I ask is give effort and put up a fight. And, the first 4 games, we did that.
Cade Coronas counted for about 200 yards, all-purpose yards, and 4 touchdowns on the night. Kind of gave you some nightmares, I'm sure. After the game was over, you probably saw him running down the field.
Yeah, they're a very good team. And then we went down and played them in JVs. Kids coming back, too. So, our JV team was 2-1 going into that game, and they beat us pretty good. Wasn't as bad as Saturday night. But, so, it is what it is. And in life, you're not always going to be successful. And,
it's a good football team, and they were superior and far superior that night. It happens to all of us. I can tell you in my years of coaching, I got beat bad by Wheeling Central many times, but then again we got our revenge at times. What do you do to build from this and move into next week?
Well, you let the kids know you care about them, and you're going to continue to coach hard, and we do coach our kids very hard. Now, when I say hard, we don't abuse our kids. We don't, The kids, I would say, if there's a kid on our team that doesn't know that we as a coaching staff cares about them as people first, then there's something I couldn't understand that. But we're going to keep coaching them hard because football is a tough game. And, you have to push kids so at the end they can be successful. So when they leave Catholic Central High School, a husband, a father, a community leader, that they can look back and say, wow, every day wasn't a great day, and every rep at practice, there was a coach on me, but it prepares you for life. And that's what we try to do. And I think that anyone in high school coaching, regardless of the sport, that is the ultimate goal, is to help build young people to get ready for the game of life.
More to this than just X's and O's.
Right.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you there. I think where a head coach makes the money is, where you earn your money is influencing those guys outside the field. So you touched on it. You're at the midway point, right? So being at the midway point and having a loss like this, what's your focus to keep the wheels from falling off the
I was real blunt with the kids. I say, guys, I will guarantee you one thing: if we play with that effort, we will end up 3-7. We'll say, wow, we started off a young team, and I said that would be a complete disaster. So our backs are to the wall right now, but we can still reach our goals and have a really good 2025 season. But we certainly got to play a lot better than what we played Saturday.
And there are a lot of lessons, life lessons, that come out of getting your butt spanked. They really are, and it's going to be a challenge, to reach down and get their attention. I look forward to it, Coach. I've got a lot of confidence in you, and so all the best going forward there. So let's talk about your upcoming. You're going down to Belfry.
Yeah, Belfry, about
Belfry, Ohio.
2 hour and 10-minute drive down the river, and never been there. It's a game that we were able to get in the summer when Madonna had scrambled very quickly, and luckily we're able to get a ball game. So, just as a situation where they won big this past week, but they've also lost some games. So they run multiple fronts on defense. They do some of this stuff that we're seeing teams like Oak Glen and Strasburg and Wheeling Central did offensively. And we really want to get them in a third and long situation. Mm-hmm. And we feel that we need to do better on special teams. We feel that our
so you're already in the week there. How's practice going?
Good.
After getting your butt hit.
We have 8th period. I got my entire team except for the JVS kids in 8th period weightlifting, and there's 29 kids in there, and we have lifted hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm in there with them, and they've been getting after it. And today was our first real hard day of practice because we have 8 Saturday games, so we got to keep the body ready to go. And today was a good practice for the most part. And tomorrow will be a more physical day. It'll be more team. We'll go more good on good, and hopefully we come out of that practice sharp and healthy, and a short one Friday, and then we get on the bus Saturday. And by the way, that is a 6 o'clock kickoff Saturday, not a 7 o'clock.
Okay.
At Belpre.
Coach, is this your first away game?
No.
Kids to respond after 2 hours on the bus, get in. You got a team that I don't know. They're up and down. They're 2-3, so they won a couple of games. They can't be. They're not terrible. And you come off a big loss. How do you?
It's a business trip. We're going to bring the kids in. We usually bring the kids in for home games on Saturday to 11 to get them up out of bed. We bring them in to stretch them for a half hour, and they go home. We tell them to eat, come back. At usually 5 is when the team meeting. They start rolling in around 4. But this week with a 6 o'clock kickoff, we're going to bring the kids in at 1 o'clock. We're going to stretch them for a half hour. They're going to pack. We're going we'll get off the bus. We're not making a big deal. I mean, it's a 2-hour and 10-minute bus ride, but we're just going to get on the bus and go and get off and get dressed and play the game.
Coach, in West Virginia, you're used to 2 hours.
Oh yeah, when I was at Weir High, we went all over West Virginia. I remember we went to Petersburg one game, and we're driving, and I'm like, why are we going past Deep Creek, Maryland? I didn't realize where Petersburg was over on the eastern panhandle there. So, and then we went through Virginia for a while, and then we came back.
I made that trip to Petersburg too with Doug and Ray. We went and got hit by a deer as we were driving back.
Well, and when we did radio, if you didn't know, Phil and I were radio partners for 4 years, and yeah, we went all over the place to cover Weir High football.
Yeah, we had many trips.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I wish you the best. I know you're going to have your team present. Knowing Central kids as well as I know Central kids from over the years, they're going to respond, and they'll bounce back from this. They're going to respond, and I look for you guys to have a pretty good outing here on Saturday.
Well, I said this before. A year ago, week 2, with a veteran team, we did not play well. Now, we didn't play like this.
Right.
But we had a real sit-down. It was a real sit-down a year ago. And I said the next 10 games, even the ones we came up short on the scoreboard, our kids responded. So I'm hoping that, the kids know, again, it's on me, the way we played, that we're with them. And hopefully every game we play, no matter what the scoreboard says at the end, hopefully we represent our school well, we have fun, we're great teammates, and we play as hard as we can. And most importantly, they're great people.
Sometimes you have to have a come-to-Jesus meeting with your group. So.
Right.
Jesus is all right. That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
God bless you. All right. So that's Coach Meek. We'll be right back with Coach Frank Ciccini from Brook High School here at